So, oh, whoa. All right. Dude, the weight moved pretty good. Like, listen, was I ego lifting a little? Yeah. Was I able to bring it down to my chest? No. But I could tell, for being the absolute max stack, that moved the best it's ever moved by far. And I've talked about in my videos fairly recently how, even though, yes, you know, if I cheat with a certain weight until I can do it strict, that's not necessarily an ideal means of progressive overload. It is still, it can still produce great results. I mean, great hypertrophy, strength gain, all that. So I'm definitely not against getting your foot in the door with certain weights. I heard Jeffrey Schofield talk about that recently, and that's something I've been training by for a long time, is just getting your foot in the door with huge weights until they move like lightweight. So very glad to be able to do literally the whole stack plus the fives and everything. That's 280 pounds right there on the lat pull down. So dang, I'm excited because that actually moved better than it did on the bulk. And that's the one thing too, is during my last cut, I was able to progress my lat pull down all the way from 160 something up to obviously the full stack, or not even the full stack actually. During the last cut, I got up to around 225. And then during the bulk, I was able to get up to the full stack, if I'm not mistaken. I might have to go back and check some of my old videos, but either way, I'm gonna do one more set of this. We're keeping it lower volume today, and then we're gonna go hit the T-bar row. All right, that moved pretty good, and because that moves so well, I know T-bar rows are about to feel really heavy. I usually do like 5 plates on this with kind of similar, just little ego, little, you know, crazy form. You know, within reason, of course, though. I don't believe in just heaving the weight at all costs. I just believe in, like I said, getting your foot in the door. But I think I'm just gonna stick with like 4 plates today. Really try to move it nicely. Just be really explosive. And that should work pretty good. That actually moved even better than I thought it would. And this weight, I'm not even talking about this like, oh, dude, it's lightweight. Don't get me wrong, it is heavy, but for me, usually, it feels pretty light when I put it at the beginning, especially, right? 4 plates is usually very easy compared to, of course, 5, or in the past, I think I've done 5.5. But I'm very surprised because after those pull downs, I'm usually kind of toast. And this time I was able to do literally, like, it felt, not even the amount of reps that I did was that great, but the actual feeling of the weight, it didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting crushed. And I'll actually credit that, because I just realized, I'll credit that to the fact that I only did 2 sets on the lat pull down. That actually was really nice. Wait a second. When you stop right before you're about to do a weight, it's either because somebody's interrupting you or it's because you got to change the song. I just got to change the song. Oh.
a Mortal Kombat character with the wrist and then the headband.
He does, dude. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Just don't watch me do any fatalities. It gets pretty graphic, man.
Oh yeah. Well,
go to the Chinese buffet, do some fatalities on that General Tso's. Oh, you're good. All right. That was scary.
Oh goodness. Here's the scary thing. I gotta be able to throw a baseball tonight. I'm coaching my son's t-ball team.
Oh, nice. Good luck.
It's like kind of like throwing a dart. It's kind of how you gotta throw it.
So you don't have to.
They're like 4 times.
Oh, so you can't throw too hard.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, just the opposite. You're almost like throwing.
I will have to look back and see how the set with the 70s looked. And I know I'm probably gonna get a bunch of comments like, bro, what are you doing? You know, something's gonna happen to you. But I'll be honest, I've been doing preacher curls at this point for so long, and in such a safe manner. I know my limits. And I mean, it goes with most exercises. I mean, the only reason people get injured, genuinely, is because they do something that they know for a fact is outside of their limit because they think that means they're pushing themselves harder. But like Tom Platz, you'll never hear about him putting 8 or 9 plates on the bar and trying to get 20 reps with it. You know, he knew his limits and he tried to push through those limits with his own intensity, not the actual weight itself, if that makes sense. Now, of course, he did heavy weight, but he knew what his heavyweight limit was. So the same thing can be applied here with preacher curls. A lot of people just see a heavy preacher curl and they get scared, but you know, if you saw me go, guys, 60's been feeling real good, I'm gonna go up to 90, see how it feels. I could get you being concerned, but you build up tendon stiffness from all kinds of, you know, strength and hypertrophy training. Time is definitely a big ally of that. So I guess my point is I really don't have anything to worry about because I've been doing this for so long and I know my limits. So anyway, dropping it down to 60. I'm sure 70 didn't look that clean, but it's been on my mind for a while that I just wanted to hit it, even if it wasn't the cleanest. So it doesn't matter too much to me, but 60 should look pretty clean by comparison. One more. All right, guys, Jed Cutler here. We're gonna do 4 sets, 12 repetitions of single arm hammer curls. You know, on these I really like to get a good deep stretch and a nice squeeze, cheating the weight a little bit and just making sure that I get good quality reps. I've always been a fan of cheating more, swinging the weight a little bit because it always just connected better with me. And I did that when I won all my Olympias. Those hammer curls felt good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you really want to grow your arms, do preacher curls, man. Seriously. I started doing, I mean, here, proof is in the pudding here, right? But when I started doing preacher curls, over the course of 8 months, my arms grew over an inch, right? And if you count from cutting to bulking, they grew 2 inches. So, huge difference, obviously. And I noticed a very, very, very specific difference in my brachialis, right? That muscle underneath your bicep. And I had no visible development of that muscle even on my last, or not on my last cut, but on the first cut that I did years ago before I started making videos. But, you know, in the span of, like I said, just several months of doing preacher curls, hammer preacher curls, all that stuff, brachialis got developed, arms blew up in the measurement. My triceps, I mean, they got bigger, but they didn't get insanely bigger. So I'm just excited to see what the preacher curl equivalent will do for my triceps. Because now I'm doing single arm with a figure 8 strap, just super locked in, super stable movement, getting a great stretch, great contraction. And eventually, you know, we're gonna build up to probably the full stack, single arm. It's a little ambitious, but you know, now I'm up to 70, which was like my ultimate goal for the preacher curl. So, with that said, hopefully we can get up to 18-inch arms on the next bulk, an inch every time. Whew. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Who knows? Who knows? Some of those measurements aren't naturally achievable unless I'm willing to become morbidly obese, but nobody wants to get big arms being morbidly obese. People want to be Ronnie Coleman with a pair of 24-inch arms. I'm yapping. Let's get to the set.
It's much more than, like you said, just don't answer or whatever.
Oh.
You would be very careful. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got on it out.
Whoa.
Had to wait for a little bit. That's fine though. We are gonna do wrist curls. 85 pounder. I've done 105 for 3 before, was my PR, but I've lost a lot of forearm strength since then. I maintained the size, which is nice, and I grew even a little bit, but in terms of practicing the dumbbell wrist curl in particular, they have gotten a little bit weaker. So I'm trying to build back up to, 100. And what I think I'm gonna do once I get to 100 is just get really good with the 100, right? Try to get up to, 100 for 8, 10, all that type of high rep stuff. I don't see much merit in doing ultra high reps, but I feel like I hit a roadblock once I got to 100. The weight itself felt heavy, even if I could do it with my wrists. So I feel like if I get to the point where it feels light enough to do, somewhat high rep sets with, then it'll be easy to move up from and then have a new, upper limit of like 120, 125, whatever. And then eventually, once I get to 125, it's going to be too much. Literally, it's, or not too much, sorry, it's going to be the limit. This is as heavy as the gym goes, so I'm going to have to switch up something or, build up to eventually 20, 30, 40 reps, who knows. But high rep sets are fun. I'm not going to discount that. I just don't think they're as effective as low rep sets like 5, 4, 6, that stuff, even up to 8.
Like, you need to make drop that 85 pounder right there. 285s. What's that? Oh, you got it.
Sunday on vacation.
Nice.
Been up on KX. So you want to
Yeah. The kid, he just beat the crap out of the other guy. Yeah. It's been fun because at the beginning of the year, he goes, "Hey, Joe, you're doing golden gloves. You think I can do it?" Yeah, that one made me, I mean, he was a good guy. So I'm like, okay, that's the shit that is. I'm done with that. Never again, unless I have to. Or unless I'm That's fun, but not.
85 is moving fantastic today. I noticed the tendons in my wrist feel a little weird, but as you get more warm, you do more sets, you do more reps, it starts to feel better. You get more blood flow in the area, you get warmed up in general. You know what I'm saying? So let's do one last set.
Set up really the last place I worked at. No, it was kind of cool. It was actually a good way. Yeah. So, because so you walk in,